try to think that trans people are going to lose work. They're wrong.
This is exactly what I'm talking about when I say WNBA games, which are supposedly a family-friendly event. Gather around, kids, and suspend your disbelief. We are going to watch the illusion of basketball in the WNBA. What happened last night in San Francisco, the city of rainbows, the headquarters of gender-affirming care, the city where Sam can fulfill his lifelong dream of becoming Pam? What happened last night in the city of rainbows is a prime example of why WNBA games are not suitable for children. Over the last few weeks, normal people have been protesting outside of WNBA games featuring the Indiana Clarks. Mothers and daughters, they have traveled around the country to show their support for Sophie Cunningham. Mothers are teaching their daughters to protect women's sports. Last night, the WNBA accomplished another first, and you guys know how much this toxic league loves a first. For the first time, mothers and daughters, they protested a game that did not involve the Indiana Fever. Last night, the two best teams in the league played each other, the Minnesota Lynx, the Golden State Vikings. Since this is the WNBA, no one is talking about the actual basketball. They're talking about the woke white women and topless men protesting outside of the arena. Trans rights are human rights. This is what diversity looks like. As you saw in the opening clip, a mother tried to explain to her daughter what the hell's going on with these people. Honey, these people are very confused. They think women have beards and men wear brassieres. You know, I almost feel bad for the WNBA. Almost. This has got to get old. I know it gets exhausting for me. I get tired of talking about it. In the year of our Lord 2026, I thought we were advanced enough to determine something as simple as gender. We have the technology to hear a snail fart in Vietnam while sitting in an office in Washington, D.C. But for some reason, we can't seem to figure out something as basic as gender. Someone please make it make sense. I definitely feel sorry for some WNBA players. Keyword, some. Last night, Olivia Miles, she was unbelievable. This young woman should be in the MVP conversation. And I'm not talking about most valuable pretender. I'm talking about most valuable player. Unfortunately, Olivia Miles does not get the recognition that she deserves. And one of the reasons Olivia Miles doesn't get to stand in the spotlight, her head coach, Cheryl Reeve, she keeps taking the spotlight and putting it on herself. Before we get to Sherry's post-game comments, which unsurprisingly had absolutely nothing to do with basketball, let's get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Sugar Mountain Trading. Mark is one of my longtime viewers. For 34 years, he worked as a warehouse manager at a distribution center for a grocery store chain. Once he got into his 50s, after 34 years of physical labor, Mark developed pain in his shoulder and lower back. Like most dealing with pain, Mark was having a hard time sleeping until he heard Uncle Casey mention the CBD from Sugar Mountain Trading. Back in June, Mark purchased his first bottle of CBD lotion from Sugar Mountain. The random flare-ups of pain, no longer a constant source of stress because the CBD completely alleviates it. If his shoulder starts bothering him, Mark applies some of the CBD lotion and the pain magically disappears. There is a reason Sugar Mountain Trading has been with me here on the channel for 2 years now. My audience consistently buys their CBD because It works. It's really that simple. If you are dealing with constant pain, I cannot think of a better investment for your personal comfort. What do you have to lose? Start controlling your pain today by clicking the link in the description or the pinned comment below. Use my promo code BTL25, BTL25. Receive 25% off your first purchase with Sugar Mountain Trading. Last night, the Minnesota Lynx shut down the Golden State Vikings. 3 out of 4 quarters, the Vikings had 15 points or less. One of the best teams in the league had 41 points going into the fourth quarter. After the game, both coaches spoke to the media. Cheryl Reeve, head coach of the Minnesota Lynx, Natalie, Nakase, head coach of the Golden State Vikings. Now, with this being a press conference that's supposedly about basketball, what is the first question you would ask Coach Natalie? If I was in the room, I would ask, what are you going to do going forward to ensure that your team has more points than missed shots? Apparently, the Golden State Vikings were inspired by recent performances from Angel Reese. As a team, they had 52 missed shots, 66 points. But this being the WNBA, the primary focus at this press conference, it had nothing to do with basketball and everything to do with what should be a non-issue. Both coaches were asked about the doofus protest outside of the arena. Cheryl Reeve was asked about this pregame, and Coach Natalie was asked after the game. Listen to their response. Watch for yourself.
Transgender kids belong politically. In this country, they found a talking point that people are buying into. And the only thing I ask is that people educate themselves further on these issues and what we're capable of doing when we work on something together. And that something is not used as, simply rhetoric to marginalize a community that does not deserve marginalization.
Too much hate that's going on, too much hate speech. Lead with love. I love to lead with love. I don't think the word love has been expressed enough. For me, I want to continue to share that. And also just continue to support, because I know when we, are love on each other, like we bring the best out of each other.
I love to lead with love. Oh, love is your friend. I think our league does a great job loving on one another. You should follow our lead. Come on, let's sing together. I love you, you love me. Men are welcome in our league. We pride ourselves on our diversity. We're dedicated to equity. I'm sure the lonely men who defend the WNBA, and believe me, there are a lot of them. If you don't believe me, call Angel Reese a role player on Twitter. Lonely men will take a break from fantasizing about proposing to Angel Reese to defend their lady's honor. My queen is not a role player. She's the MVP of the league. She makes 100% of her layups when she shoots the ball between the Grand Canyon-sized gap in my teeth. Lonely men who defend the WNBA, they will claim that Cheryl Reeve and Coach Natalie were simply answering questions. The media asked a question, they provided an answer. Now, on the surface, that is a decent defense, but there's a logical way to handle this instead of doing what the WNBA continues to do, which is respond out of emotion. If someone in the media asks non-basketball related questions, all you have to say is next question. It's that simple. Someone has to step up and lead this league because Kat Engelbert refuses to do it. WNBA players and coaches, they keep complaining that no one talks about basketball. Olivia Miles is having one of the best seasons we have ever seen from a rookie. And her head coach, she keeps answering questions about Wiener being removed from the concession stand and put on the court. From a coach's perspective, I understand why Cheryl Reeve is advocating for masculinity in a feminine league. Her job is to win. In women's sports, especially a sport like basketball where height is a distinct advantage, what is the best way to win? Men. Now, from a player's perspective, Gabby Williams and other WNBA players who are supporting transgender rights, they are advocating for their own demise. If their dreams come true, they will be unemployed. This is pure speculation on my part, but I think the WNBA likes the controversy. The league is benefiting from this attention, at least temporarily. Why would the WNBA step in and solve a problem that's put the league back into the mainstream spotlight? Remember last summer when the WNBA was losing momentum? Caitlin Clark was injured. Angel Reese was barely playing. The Chicago Bravado, they were an eyesore to watch. Couldn't win a damn game, so even when Angel Reese did play, no one cared. The only thing to talk about in the WNBA last summer was pretend basketball, and no one wanted to talk about that. This season, and especially the last month or so, this ongoing war, it has put the WNBA back into the national spotlight. The league is everywhere. Problem is, I don't know if this is sustainable long term. There's drama, storylines in the NFL, NBA, but for the most part, the storylines are based on what happens on the field, on the court. In the WNBA, it is 100% political. Caitlin Clark being disrespected by the league, Caitlin Clark not being featured on promotional posters for games. They don't want her to be the face of the league because she's a straight white girl. Whether or not that's true really doesn't matter. The perception is the only thing that matters. Sophie Cunningham is being attacked because she doesn't want some dude taking her job. Protests outside of the arena have nothing to do with WNBA basketball, and everything to do with an issue that no one was talking about 3 months ago. Think about it. The issue of transgender involvement in sports. It was pretty much dead. Now, is Sophie Cunningham partially responsible for bringing it back up? Sure, but it should not be controversial that a woman doesn't want to compete against men. It shouldn't be controversial. It should be normal. Now, to her credit, Angel Reese has stayed out of all this, but the WNBA audience is completely divided. The hardcore fan base wants to continue to use their precious league to push their communist ideology, while normal people want to prevent the WNBA from becoming the G League. Whether or not the league can survive long term with a divided fan base remains to be seen. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.